I get the frustration that has flowed from the crisis. It was a big one. It affected everyone's lives. And it still is. Even 10 years on, wages still pretty flat. I get the frustration. But what we haven't seen from the public, and thank heavens we haven't seen it, is a complete rejection of the importance of these issues and of understanding them. One of the things we can do as the bank is to try and improve their understanding and indeed our understanding of those issues as well.
Well, the RSA report suggests a regional citizens reference panel. Are you going to agree to that?
Yes, we are. We are. So we have a whole slew of initiatives over the course of the last several years to reach further, to speak to a broader set of society. But what we've said today is that in the light of the RSA's recommendations, we've listened, we've thought carefully about how best to take the next rung, if you like, up the engagement ladder. And that will mean putting in place a comprehensive set of citizen panels regionally using that agency network.
So across class, diversity, age?
Across all the key dimensions, because we want as wide an angle lens on how the economy and financial system is doing as possible. And these councils are one extra means of doing that, engaging with a cohort of society that traditionally the bank and most others have not done.
I wonder how much the Bank of England truly can reflect the population when your gender pay gap is so bad and when your representation is so bad. On the Monetary Policy Committee, 8 of the 9 members are men, 12 of the 13 members of the Financial Policy Committee are men, and there's very little ethnic diversity in both.
We need to do better. We've been absolutely clear about that on all of the dimensions of diversity, including gender, including ethnicity, and including the broader dimensions of diversity, which means thought and background and experience. And to some extent, these citizen councils I mentioned can be part of the answer in bringing different sorts of experiences.
But they can't be a human shield.
They're no human shield.
Because I'm just going to throw another one at you. In terms of senior female employees, on average earn 24% less per hour than male counterparts of the Bank of England, according to your first gender pay gap report. 67 of the most senior roles in the Bank of England, 8 are held by women.
Yeah.
I mean, how quickly are you going to turn that around?
Well, we have now targets on both the gender and ethnicity side that will take us to a better place, because the place we start is not remotely where we want to be. We're absolutely clear that we are on the case and we will make a difference. It's, my background is different than many people here. Sometimes that's meant, being here is not entirely straightforward.
In what way?
Well, I was probably one of the first vintages that didn't go to Oxford or Cambridge, that didn't go to a public school, that might come at things from slightly different angles. The bank I joined might not have valued that as much as the Bank of England today.
So, people look around and they think, where are we going to put our money? We get nothing in the banks, particularly. A bit worried about stocks and shares. We'll try something new. We'll try a cryptocurrency. And Mark Carney's talked about that, a possible anarchy, the no regulation. I mean, does the bank think that cryptocurrencies are essentially dangerous?
Well, there's lots of potential risks there. One of which is the danger to the consumer from buying into this stuff.
Yeah.
Andrew Bailey, head of the Financial Conduct Authority, has made very clear consumers need to look before they leap very carefully when it comes to all matters crypto. They are not yet of a scale, less than 1% of global wealth, that would lead us to conclude, I think, that they pose a system-wide threat. They won't bring down the banks, not least because those banks are much better capitalized than they were a decade ago. Whenever things grow rapidly, whether it's unsecured debt or cryptocurrencies, we keep a careful eye, and we are.
Would you ever buy into a cryptocurrency personally, just for a little flutter?
I think not. I'm afraid I'm a chronically risk-averse investor, and far be it from me to offer any independent financial advice to anyone.
Finally, do you think in the coming, say, 3 decades, we're going to have to really rethink the nature of work and what work means in our society and the connection between work and pay?
We are. In the past 300 years, we've sort of stapled together the notion of work and pay. Work need not necessarily involve pay. Voluntary work is still work, and with the rise of the robots, we might find more work taking a voluntary form, as well as requiring different sets of skills, social skills, interpersonal skills, negotiation, relationship building, empathy, sympathy. Much more of the world of work will, I think, in future draw upon not just on our heads and our hands, but also our hearts. The key point here is that we have dealt historically with these industrial revolutions by putting in place new frameworks and new institutions. All revolutions bring new jobs, and this one will be no different.
Andy Haldane, thank you very much.
Thank you, Kirsty.